You know what always makes me suspicious? When all the political parties agree on something. And that's pretty sad because it should be like, oh, they all agree to do something great for Canadians and it's clear, so it's a clear win. But it seems to me that they only ever agree when it's in their own self interest. So, mind blowing article today in Canada's National Observer. Okay. Bill C4 omnibus bill, which I've said before, I'll say it again. I hate omnibus bills. They're just an excuse for the parties to just shove stuff in that doesn't belong in there. So Bill C4 is called the Making Life More Affordable for Canadians bill. So you'd think that it would cover things about making life more affordable, like all those things that we need to happen to make life more affordable for Canadians. But not only that, because it's an omnibus bill, there's a section in there with changes to the Canada Elections Act. Really? What could they be? That's granting federal political parties immunity from privacy laws retroactively to the year 2000. Now, if you're like me, you're thinking, what in the hell was this doing in an omnibus bill about making life more affordable for Canadians? What does this have to do with anything? Well, this bill passed the House with everybody agreeing to it except Elizabeth May. And the Senate pushed back on this part about the Canada Elections Act. So here's what it looks like it relates to. We have legislation in Canada. The Privacy Act is about how government handles your personal information. And then we have PAPETA, which is about how commercial organizations handle your personal information. But it turns out that Canada's federal political parties are in this kind of policy limbo when it comes to privacy. They are covered by neither of those two acts. So there's this lawsuit in British Columbia that's working its way up to the British Columbia Supreme Court about some mishandling of personal information. And my understanding is that to circumvent whatever verdict comes out of that, this omnibus bill that's supposed to be about making our lives better as Canadians is actually helping all of the political parties cover their own asses about possible privacy violations in the last 26 years. I hate omnibus bills. So the Senate raised concerns about this privacy exemption, and the House is like, no, the Senate can't tell us what to do. Like, why do we have a Senate? Does anybody know if the House never listens to them anyway? And the parties are like, oh, no, we'll each have our own privacy policy within 3 years. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I am worried about it. First of all, this is not something that should be left to the devices of individual parties, because then the Liberals and the Conservatives and the NDP and the Bloc Québécois, they're all going to have their own privacy policies. Well, what good is that, right? To me, federal parties should have a consistent privacy framework that they are legally obligated to follow. So the article in the National Observer references this report that was done in 2012. So it's a little old when in this space because of technology changes, but it has this incredible list of dodgy stuff that MPs from all parties, okay, this is a nonpartisan issue, dodgy stuff that they'd been caught doing, like somebody sent out birthday cards to their constituents based on information they got from Passport Canada. What? No. And just this laundry list of no, you shouldn't be using Canadians' personal information that way. And when those constituents complained to the privacy commissioner, there was no recourse because the privacy commissioner is like, I'd love to help, but I can't, because these people aren't bound by the legislation that I'm around to deal with. So when you think about the kind of information that parties can have, right? Like they've got all the stuff they get from Elections Canada about voters, and then they have like the financial info on their donors, and they collect like your attitudes and how you feel about different parties. When they come to your door, they can get information about your family, your health, like your finances, your employment, all the communications you make with people in the party during an election time, outside of an election time, social media mining. So these parties, obviously, to do targeted work at elections to get you to vote for them, they collect a ton of personal information. And it turns out, according to this article, not only are they not covered by any legislation, but just in case the Supreme Court of BC was about to say, actually, you should be covered and you should, make restitution for all the stupid, malicious stuff you've done with personal information in the last 26 years, in an omnibus bill about making life more affordable for Canadians, they decide to slip in this thing about granting them immunity. All the parties, not just the Liberals, all the parties get immunity back to 2000. And every single MP representing all the parties, except for Elizabeth May, like I said, they're like, hell yeah, we need this. I am appalled. And I know there's so many bigger issues to worry about in Canada right now, in the world. I get it, but I couldn't let this one slide. This, to me, is brutal. So if you know anything more about it, let me know, because it's a little bit hard to do digging on this. And questions or comments, of course, I'll try to answer them. And otherwise, I hope everyone is managing to have a good day.